Welcome into Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee, the show that highlights Giles, Lawrence, and Maury counties off in the pages of your local newspapers. I'm Scott Stewart, the publisher of the Pulaski Citizen, the Lawrence County Advocate, and Main Street Maury. Those are your local newspapers here in Southern Middle Tennessee. We'd love to get you a copy of your local newspaper every week delivered to your mailbox with a subscription or even on your computer screen. Here's how you can get a subscription started now. Call 931-363-3544, call 615-452-4940, or call 931-762-1726, any number for any of our newspapers. Same for our websites. Go to PulaskiCitizen.com, MainStreetMaury.com, or LawrenceCountyAdvocate.net to find out everything you need to know for an online or traditional subscription to any of our newspapers. Now let's get our weekly wrap started.
Hello, I'm your local reporter, Andrew Pearson. We hope you had a good Memorial Day. I know I did. And here's our wraps for last week's news in Main Street, Maury. Spring Hill's Board of Mayor and Aldermen passed the changes they made to the Commerce Center and airport plans that they're planning to build on the south end of their town. Several citizens spoke in opposition to the planned development, especially to the airport, because of noise, pollution, and eminent domain and traffic. The city also agreed to a 38% increase in Williamson County's property taxes, received a clean financial audit, and made plans to interview 4 candidates for the position of city administrator. These candidates will be interviewed publicly the second week in June. Don't Dam the Duck is a new environmental group which opposes the movement to build a dam on the Duck River near Columbia. They remind people of some of the reasons why the original dam was torn down by the TVA in 1999, and they challenge the glowing claims that Columbia Dam now makes for their pet project. Don't Dam the Duck will publish articles on their own site beyond the one they sent to Main Street Maury last week. The Mule House ran its first monthly open mic 2 weeks ago, and the first one featured a lot of high-level talent. Country singer Craig Campbell backed up several artists on guitar and piano, as did the Fletcher brothers, who can be seen playing at Puckett's restaurants, and Michael Farron, who helps run Bourbon Gospel in downtown Columbia. Local songwriter Troy Castellano made a pitch from the stage for his nonprofit, which gives donated instruments to public school children. And the next open mic will be the second Tuesday in May. And the Vets Memorial Building in Columbia received 2 historic markers over the weekend. One for the memorial building itself, a beautiful marble and sandstone structure from 1909 that used to be the post office, and one for a trophy gun retrieved from a Cuban ship sunk in the Spanish-American War. On our other pages, Randolph Howell Elementary have rebranded as the Huskies. Columbia State got a $2 million state grant to fund healthcare training. Cheekwood Estate will hold its first community celebration on the first weekend in June. State Rep Scott Sapicki encourages parents to apply for vouchers to help fund the private or homeschool education of their children. Spring Hill Public Library published its schedule of events for June. The local chapter of the Sons of the American Revolution inducted 3 new members. The Daughters of the American Revolution attended the state conference. And the TXMD Runway Fashion Show will be co-directed this year by 2 women from Franklin and Columbia. Thank you again for listening, and pick up a copy of Main Street Maury at a grocery or convenience store in your town. Next up is Maurice Patton with sports for Southern Middle Tennessee.
Hey, I'm Maurice Patton, sports editor at Main Street Maury. This week's print edition of the paper, that would be our May 28th edition of Main Street Maury. We were a little hamstrung by some production deadlines, so we don't have as much in there as we would have liked, particularly from Spring Fling. But we've got some coverage of Columbia Academy's march to a second consecutive state championship. To see the rest of that, you'll have to go to the website at mainstreetmaury.com. But between the two, between this print edition and online, we've got you covered with all of the Bulldogs' exploits en route to, again, their second consecutive Division 2A state championship in baseball, their third in 7 years, and the fourth in school history. So again, all of that you can see in Wednesday's paper, and online at mainstreetmurray.com. Also, some news about one of those Bulldogs, Gunnar Skelton, who became Columbia Academy's first Tennessee Baseball Coaches Association Mr. Baseball. They had 3 previous players finalists for that award on 4 different occasions. Gunnar, the junior shortstop / pitcher, finally broke through for the Bulldogs. We got coverage of that as well. Also, Battle Creek boys soccer making the first state tournament appearance in that program's athletic history last week at Spring Fling. We've got coverage of how they did over in Murfreesboro as well. Weston Ford has stepped down at Zion Christian as girls basketball coach. We've got coverage of that. Again, more Spring Fling. Independence also played deep into the Class 4A state baseball tournament. We've got coverage of that, as well as Columbia Academy track and field and some other Class AAA track and field athletes from Summit, Independence, Columbia Central, and Spring Hill. See how all of them did in this week's print edition of Main Street Murray. We have got you fairly well covered on Spring Fling this week. Again, for the rest of it, be sure and visit the website at mainstreetmurray.com. We'll get you up to date on all of it in next week's print edition. Whatever we might have missed this week, we'll have next week, plus more. Again, some more coaching changes anticipated, so be sure and visit the website Main Street Murray to stay up to date on all of that, and be sure and pick up next week's print edition of Main Street Murray as well. I'm Maurice Patton, sports editor at Main Street Murray. We'll see y'all next week.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily, as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
Busy bee, yeah, busy bee. If you need
Hold on, y'all, hold on. I need to make a call. Hey, this is Brianna with Busy Bee. I'm giving you a call to let you know your technician is on his way.
833.
Busy bee. Guys, not yet. Not yet.
Busy bee, oh,
Now
busy
ready,
bee.
guys.
Call 775-7833.
The Lawrence County Advocate Wrap this week celebrates awards and championships on the front page of our newspaper. We start with the state champion Summertown tennis team at the top of A1. Congratulations to the Lady Eagles. Next up is STRHS Lawrenceburg's Lisa Robertson, who was named the local hospital's Mercy Award winner, which sends her to an overall company-wide competition. Summertown student Kevin Love is a state champion welder, and he's headed to national soon. Congratulations to all you guys for your accomplishments. And finally on A1 is the news and photos of work beginning at the West Gaines School building. Be sure to drive by and check that out. Inside, more Summertown students excel in Skills USA competition. The Rotary Club did a reverse roadblock recently. Maury Regional Health celebrates the topping out of their construction in Lawrenceburg and we get a personal story of the impact that Southern Tennessee Bone and Joint had on the life of one Lawrence Countyan. Also inside, Crockett Theater has some comedy shows coming up. The Lawrence County Republican Party has discussed holding a Reagan Day dinner. We feature the Bend Soap Company here in Lawrenceburg with lots of photos of a recent student tour of their facilities. Neil Beard highlights the Living History presentation down at the Loretto Lift Up and History Museum recently, complete with photos. Henry takes a look back at the family's new rumpus room. We've got the June schedule for the Senior Citizen Center. And finally, a group of Lawrenceburg firefighters attended the graduation of the son of one of their fallen comrades. And there's a lot more to see in the Lawrence County Advocate this week, just like every week, including local obituaries, local community announcements, government notices, auctions, and estate sales. We've got the forecast from the Tennessee Valley Weather and 2 pages of puzzles and comics, along with the local church directory. In sports, we give you details and more photos from that Summertown Tennis Championship. The Alabama-Tennessee Bass Club fished Wilson Lake recently. We've got photos of the winners and their hauls. And Larry Woody shares some articles on turkey hunting, and he features lightning bugs in his weekly column. Well, that's it for the Lawrence County Advocate this week. We'll be right back right after this.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily, as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
Busy bee, yeah, busy bee. If you need
Hold on, y'all, hold on. I need to make a call. Hey, this is Brianna with Busy Bee. I'm giving you a call to let you know your technician is on his way.
833.
Bee, oh, busy bee. Guys, not yet. Not yet.
Busy bee, oh,
Not
busy
already,
bee.
guys.
Call 775-7833.
The Pulaski Citizen Wrap starts this week with our Citizen Spotlight, Dr. Matthew Harrington, whose photo graces that spot of honor right there at the top center of our front page. Also on page 1, the County Commission reduced the distance beer sales can take place in proximity to churches, schools, and parks. In northern Giles County, there's a fight going on to stop an off-grid development on 992 acres. We celebrate the exceptional life of Mrs. Vivian Sims, who, among many other accomplishments in her life, and there were a lot, she taught a whole generation of us to take a piece of paper and fold it in half. Godspeed, Miss Sims, and thank you for making our community better. Finally, on A1, we show Giles County's Memorial Day ceremonies in pictures. Inside, following a standoff, authorities were able to apprehend a murder suspect at the Budget Inn in Pulaski. The Giles County Public Library's summer reading program is about to get started. A celebration of families is scheduled for the Pulaski Square. Nova is the GCHA Pet Corner Pet of the Week, and we've got Scholastic Bowl winners, excuse me. And as always, Pulaski Citizen has obituary notices, court docket, property transfers, government public notices, backward glances, fun and games, church directory, community briefs, Tennessee Valley weather, and church briefs. And don't forget, now Sundrop, June's here, coming here. It's almost here. Sundrop Fest is just around the corner. Be looking at the Pulaski Citizen over the next couple of weeks for details of all the fun we've got lined up for you right here on the Pulaski Square. And we've got all that, and then we've got Wade and his sports. Take it away, Wade.
What's up, folks? Wade Neely here, sports editor at the Pulaski Citizen. Time now for a look at what's in print and what's online for the May 28th edition of the Pulaski Citizen sports page. Spring Fling has come, Spring Fling has gone, and the Richland Raiders were represented last week in Murfreesboro. Hay bale tossing is not an official TSSAA sanctioned sport, but A.J. Bates for the Richland Raiders found the next best thing, making his way to Murfreesboro in shot put. And we caught up with A.J. and Coach Hogue to kind of get a breakdown on how a new discipline this year led all the way to a 7th place finish at the state tournament. So make sure that you check that out. A lot of coverage there. Good to catch up with A.J., who will be attempting his craft. We initially thought AJ was the senior. He turns out he's a junior, so he's got a chance to come back and not only improve on his shot put, but also get better at his discus, which he narrowly missed on qualifying for the state tournament last year as well. So make sure you check that out. Meanwhile, one senior we do want to shout out is Giles County senior Latarius Brewer. The Bobcat basketball star is headed to UT Southern, and we were on hand to make sure that he got his just due as he put pen to paper and will be a UT Southern Firehawk. Assistant coach Khadijon Townsend, head coach Nick Campbell, as well as UTS Firehawks head coach Andy Sharp, all on hand to send off Latarius, one of the all-time Bobcat greats. He did it all last year for Giles County, and we break things down kind of by numbers. He really was a stat sheet stuffer for Giles County. So good to see Latarius off to the second part of his basketball career there. Again, staying close to home at UT Southern. As always, we've got words from our good friend Larry Woody. Lightning bugs are out, folks. You might have seen a few already, but Larry's got you covered with the ins and outs on our blinking friends in the sky, so make sure that you check that out. And a reminder, if you missed any of this in print, you can catch it all online at PulaskiCitizen.com. That's all for what's in print and what's online. We will see you next week. Wade Neely signing out from the Pulaski Citizen sports page.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather on Main Street.
Good Wednesday morning. Taylor Platt here for the Tennessee Valley Weather Center with a quick check on your forecast. Starting the day off on Wednesday with a few showers possible, maybe a rumble of thunder. Some scattered to isolated activity is expected during the afternoon and evening. I don't think anything's going to be too robust or too severe out there. Wednesday evening looking pretty dry. Temperatures down into the middle and upper 70s. And once we get into your Thursday, unfortunately, see more widespread showers and storms moving through across the area. 7-day forecast looks like this. Weekend is looking a lot better than what we saw Memorial Day weekend. Saturday and Sunday looking pretty decent. Only a chance of a shower storm expected on Sunday, with temperatures generally in the 80s over the weekend, getting into the mid-80s as we head towards next week.
Well, that's it for this week's Morning on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee. Make sure you get a copy of your local newspaper, online or traditional, so you don't miss a minute of all the local coverage we've got lined up for you. For more information on subscribing to any of our local newspapers, got one website for you, MainStreetMediaTN.com. That's MainStreetMediaTN.com. Thank you for trusting us as your source for local news, events, sports, and information. And good Lord willing, we're going to be right back here next week on Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee.